like it's working. It says I'm live. It says I have 2 people. Hi. Cool. Hey, so it's Cosmosis Cass here, bringing another dance break, and also just really, honestly, there's a lot going on right now, right? We feeling a lot. We swirling in chaos. Um, yeah. So it's been a few weeks or longer since I've done any kind of dance break, and I realized I could go live. So, yes, I'm going to be tapping into that quite a bit now. And yeah, I just want to take a moment to ground because it's been a little while. I'm feeling my nerves a little bit. So I can invite you to just take a moment to ground as well. Feel the earth beneath and how it's supporting. Feel how the breath is supporting, how we can rest in that. Shows up in exactly the way that we need it to at any given time. Um, yeah. And so, yes, let me just ask for the strength and the grace to let the message that I desire to give to you today to flow. So, with all that's been going on, really, what I've been connecting into, as much as, I mean, I will just say it out loud, like, I am a radical thinker. And much of my experience of the world right now is very counter to what the general collective is presenting. And so I'm definitely still like, it's hard to not feel like that fear because it's just so overt. But mine is actually presented in a little bit more of a, ooh, why are we all being told to stay inside? Like, really internalizing staying inside, really internalizing staying separate from everyone. I mean, caution is important, absolutely. And may I just remind everybody that burning sage in a moment like this is really effective, not only in purifying energy, but in actually purifying and cleaning the air, purifying and cleaning your clothes and your hair. So, little freebie there, very useful. And a way to feel empowered. Okay. So, yeah, I just wanted to, tap into explore like how is it that we can take this moment and the way that it is really just showing up all kinds of shadows and uncertainties and repressed energies that we have been there, have always been there, but we have been hesitant to look at and have been covered up. Like, and whether this is in an overall broad systems sense of things, the curtain being pulled back, and we're seeing that, oh, wow, this economy really has been walking on wobbly stilts. So here we are, wobbling. Um, or whether it's more the internal experience of, wow, okay, we're left to our own devices and these walls, and you are just chewing way too loudly in front of me, or whatever it may be. There's just, I think, triggers galore right now. And I also think they're actually just, it's the good stuff. All the stuff that we have been trying to avoid looking at or being present with. We can take a deep breath, soften, allow ourselves to explore it with genuine curiosity. in that loving way, then maybe we can find inspiration for the next moment, the next action, um, that it feels like an inspired action versus a contraction. Very like how can we embrace that it's perfectly natural to have a contraction right now? Um, so holding it softly and then also like how can we surrender to it and find the ease. So there's so much to unpack. I personally have really vacillated between mm, oh my gosh, like this is just all too much and overwhelm, and I just need to check out. To like my engines are all fired up, and I I feel like I want to, take on the world. I feel like I warrior princess Xena, like come to life, like, let's shoot some freaking arrows. Ready. Um so yeah, but that is a useful energy to have, right? Like when we're having that charge energy, like that is really, how it wants to be expressed is in a way of like outward outward force. Let me shine out and express whatever I need to say. So um, yeah, I saw today a list of 7 archetypes of fear or fear based archetypes, and I'll just read them off real quickly. Um, but for me, it was really interesting. Like, I fairly feel like they're not that different. And personally, I could see how, like, you could just tie them all up in a bow, really. So, like, there's the procrastinator and the perfectionist, and these are considered two different ones. And I'm like, wow, those two really like merge so much because being the perfectionist does leave us in that state of like it will never be perfect and so I can't make my move, you know. But then the procrastinator is kind of like, the surface of it's just I'll get to it later, but really it's because there's some kind of like sense that we won't get it right or we'll fail or something. So and my procrastination, I'm big on the procrastination. So I've been in that for a little while since all this stuff has come to a head. Just feeling like I feel like I have a lot to say, and yet I also don't know like if I can present it in a way that you will connect to it. So yeah, but yeah, procrastinator, the perfectionist, afraid of making a mistake, the people pleaser who's afraid of being judged or letting people down, the rule follower who's got an unhealthy fear of authority, averse to coloring outside the lines, the the outcast who's terrified of rejection and will often reject others first to avoid that. The self doubter, afraid of not being capable, or maybe they're afraid of being capable too. I think there's like a little mix of that, possibly. And worthiness, afraid of not being worthy. Excuse maker. This is like a fear of responsibility or avoiding blame. And the pessimist, who is afraid or avoiding pain or adversity. Um, so, yeah, I don't know. Like, do any of those like resonate with you particularly? I feel like this is a good time to not just rest and recharge, but since in all this stillness, I feel like stillness is where kind of like the opportunity just happens to bubble up, like the friction rises of its own accord. Because hey, like nothing's happening. I think my inner demons or even the outer demons, everything quiet down, and then we can like see what's really going on, so to speak. So yeah, I mean it. When I look at all of these, I probably resonate with the outcast the most. That fear of rejection and the "I'm just gonna reject you first" uh, side of things. Like I mean, I've always kind of felt like the outsider, like misunderstood, all that stuff. Um, but I feel like they all come down to the same thing of like, I'm not sure I'm enough. I'm not sure I'll be okay if I really share my authentic truth, you know, or if I am just in the truth. Like I feel somehow like I won't pass the test, that I'll be, um, you know, rejected from the tribe is really what it comes down to, fear, right? And there's just these little particular flavors that come in. But how real are they? And how can we soften and get curious and play with them if we happen to find any particular aspect highly energized in us and we're resonating with it right now? Like, how can we get still, listen, honor it, and then like from this place of just like listening and really not needing to be different than what we are right now, like just, sit in our light, stand in our light, stand in our truth, and know that this is enough. And generally speaking, when we can surrender to that, then I think is where we find the magic and the inspiration to step forward into something that maybe would take courage, like courage emanating from the ability to just be present for ourselves. Um, yeah. Does that make sense? I don't know. Please, if any of this resonated with you, I would love to hear in the comments what your ideas are. My got a tickle in my throat all of a sudden. But yes, interesting. What's coming through my throat chakra here? Well, all of a sudden, that's weird. I haven't had that at all. But so I would like to invite you, please join me for a dance of maybe your shadow side today. What is it in you that's kind of maybe bubbling to the surface that maybe you've been kind of like trying to like, I really shouldn't be feeling like this. I don't want to feel like this. Maybe this should be different. How can I just make this different? Or how can the world be different? Like this is not up to par with my expectations. Not liking this, But whatever it is, whether it's the external world or it's the internal world, what is it that we're kind of bracing against instead of embracing and seeing what kind of medicine or lesson we can receive from it? So, whatever that might be for you, I invite you to play with dancing with it with me, with a song called "The Rite of the Hunt" by Deya Dova. I do feel like these times are a rite of their own. So, yeah, um, join me. Let's see. Oh, not that one. Ah, got
golden beside the fire. The long loaded stairs, length of neck always because of its hair. Into the woods hearts would fly, into the valley dim by the sky. Hungry and teasing, your peace would be slow. Head full of antlers, into the hunt we go. Farther and deeper you chase her side, through the moss and the bracken, away from the eye. These are standing stones here. She looked back, casting through the trees. That's here. The thrill of the hunt, she swings back into the chase, leads him into a key or in violet's place. He lands to smooth up the erect and high. The feathers mask hides his face, but his song. She's never forgot. Not to be heard is the sound of two great mountains colliding. His concept on his dream that the empty space still fighting. Into the woods our hats would fly, into the valley and by the sky. The full pace in the hope to stop the kill and the thrill of the chase.
All right. Whoever you are sticking it out with me, I'll bet it's Roy. But thank you. And please share. I really would love to hear any thoughts or inspiration or experiences that you're having right now that feels relevant and connected. You hear what I'm saying? Um, yeah. What is going on out there? Let's connect and strengthen together. All right. I will see you next time. I'm about to blow it up with these lives. All right. Ciao for now.